Hi everyone, welcome to It's Okay to Be Okay. I'm your host Melissa and I'm with Chrystal and Jennifer.
Hi,
And
everybody.
today we have a beautiful guest with us, Jessica. So I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to introduce Jessica. She's going to share her story, what inspired her to come onto this podcast today. And then I'm going to take Jessica through a little meditation, visualization, and then we're going to start to just have a natural conversation, a human conversation, and see where it leads us. So are we all good?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Jessica, it's an absolute privilege to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm
And
honored to be here.
you're welcome. And just tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to come jump on this call today.
Um, I'm 43. I live in Montana. I am very much about nature and entrepreneuring and um, living according to one's own path. I have a 22-year-old son, and I am happily divorced. Spent the
Oh,
last 4 years working on the finding of oneself.
good.
And the inspiration to come on the show was continuing education and understanding other parts of what make the whole conscious work, like the bigger picture.
Amazing. And
Uh,
is there anything specifically that you want to work on for yourself? Is there any like struggles or
oh, well, I mean, as human, we definitely always have the things. Um, Pieces for my personal self is just the waiting, I guess, for the window. Sometimes where you water the grass isn't always greener. Sometimes you flood that shit, right? Uh, and being able to be still and calm enough to wait for the next right thing, and that you're in tune enough to be aware of it, to allow it to
okay.
come through. And like next steps are big for me because I've been sitting in transition for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, doing the things that I feel like would put me in line to make my life happen the way I view it, the way I want it, the way I visualize it, the way I see it, and being let down and frustrated that sometimes those things just aren't what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
They're
So
not what you're supposed to have. So being okay with that and being able to sit with it and the waiting.
yeah, I get a lot of waiting energy around you. There's a lot of waiting,
There's a
waiting.
lot of waiting.
Yeah. And I know how that feels.
Yeah.
It sucks, but we can get out of it because when we wait, we're sending off the vibration that we're waiting, and that's what we're getting back. More waiting, you know?
Or waiting is new because, actively acting wasn't working either.
Okay. Right. So I'm
Actively
going to,
taking steps to make the changes that I want for my life wasn't working either. So waiting naturally became the next piece.
take you through a little visualization,
Okay.
and then we're just going to crack on from there. So I just want you to close your eyes, and everyone else can do this as well if you want to get into the visualization. So just close your eyes, take in a nice deep breath, and breathe out. And just forget where you are for a second. Forget you're on camera. Forget you're here. Just listen to my voice. And again, breathe in, breathe out. Feel the energy start to sizzle down. Breathe in. Notice the noise in your mind, but don't interact with it. Just let it be like a buzz. Breathe out. And just relax with every breath. Breathe in. And on that exhale, relax. You don't have to be anyone right now. You don't have to act. You don't have to perform. You're just being, you're just listening. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just be kind to yourself. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now I want you to put your focus on your hands, on your fingertips. And still breathing in and out. And just start to feel the sensations at your fingertips. You might be able to feel tingling, a heat, a pulsing. So you need to connect with that energy. Again, breathing in and out. Every out breath, you're getting deeper and deeper into that relaxation. In and out. Feel that pulsing, that tingling, whatever sensation you can feel there. I want you to know that you can feel that through your entire body, and we're going to go to your head, the top of your head. And we're going to feel that sensation at the top of your head. I'm going to connect with it. Just feel it, not doing anything, just feeling it. And in a minute, we're going to go down the body, and it's like we're going to unwrap the stress of the day, unwrap the stress of the past, the thoughts running through your mind. We're just going to unwrap, going to peel it. So when you start at the top of your head, I want you to feel that peeling sensation coming down your head, over your forehead, over your eyes, over your cheeks and your jaw. Feel that sensation as it peels down over your throat. Feel it clearing out your throat. Over your shoulders. Feel your shoulders becoming lighter, freer. Feel that fluttering energy as the peeling comes out. Breathing still in and out. That peeling sensation is going to come down over your chest, over your torso. And it's almost like you're taking off an old bra. That feeling of just relaxation. Like the end of the day where you can just relax. Again, that peeling sensation is going to come over your shoulders and arms, down your forearms, over your fingers, like as if you're peeling off a glove. And the air is touching your skin. You can feel the air touching your skin. It feels amazing. It feels light. And you're going back over your torso, down into your hips. Any heaviness, any weight is just going to be coming off with that peeling sensation. Feel that peeling sensation coming down your legs, over your thighs. Feel that tingling sensation, that fluttering, that emptying, lightness. It's almost like you can lift off your chair. You feel so light. Continuing, you're going to take that peeling, that wrap over your knees. Your knees are going to feel like they're opening up. Your joints are opening up. Your bone is opening up. Everything is flowing. You can feel your blood flowing effortlessly through all your bones and your veins. And you can continue down your calves, down into your feet. And you're going to look down and you're going to peel the rest of that off, that heaviness, that past, the things we don't need to carry anymore. We're just going to peel it off our feet. And we need to wrap it up in a ball. You've peeled it all off. You feel free. You feel like, you can move again. You're going to wrap it up in a ball. And I want you to imagine a beautiful trunk. And it can be wooden, metal, whatever you want. And it's got a heavy lift. I want you all to go over to the heavy lid and lift it up. Feel how heavy it is. You're going to lift that trunk up and you're going to put that wrap in that trunk. Now that trunk is safe. You can always come back to it. You always have access to it. I want you to put your hands on the top of that trunk, that lid. I want you to pull it down and we're just going to put those in there for the time being. And then when you take a nice deep breath in, Feel the lightness. You can feel the fizzling of the energy in your body. Feel that relief. You can feel your mind slowing down. Now, while we're in this space, I'm going to show you how thought works. It's magical and it's simple. As you look up, I want you to look up, and as you look up, you'll see clouds. And in these clouds, there's noise. And I want you to remove the noise. So just the clouds are left. That's thought. Not the content within the clouds, but the cloud itself. I want you to see that, feel it. Feel the words what I'm pointing to. And have fun with it. Have a look around, look at all the clouds around you. Empty them out. Clear them. No clutter. And then just watch as they drift in and out. You're now the observer, you're watching them. And you're watching them fill up again. And they're emptying and they're filling up. Some are good, some are fun, some are not so good. But just watch as they just come in and they go out. And just have fun with it. As the observer, you don't need to interact with them. Just keep breathing in and out. In and out. Just watching those clouds pass by. And this is what happens in our mind. Their thoughts, they come and go. And these thoughts fill up and they empty. And now I want you to start to come back. As you step back, you'll notice a beautiful white light. I want you to step into that white light. And as you step into that white light, you're going to feel the energy of the universe just filling you up with pure energy, pure joy, pure love, pure happiness. I want you to really let that love in, because you are loved. You are beautiful. You are a beautiful human being, a beautiful spirit. You are loved. Let that love in. Let it reach every cell in your body. Take a nice deep breath in. Let that love in. Let it coat every single cell in your body. Know that every single cell in your body is listening. Feel that light hit every part of your body, of your brain, of your mind, of your spirit. Connect with it. You are not broken. You are loved. And you can achieve anything you want. Your only limit is your own thoughts. Now I just want you to bask in that light for a few seconds more. And I'm going to count from 5 to 1. When I get to 1, you're all going to be back with me. Wise, eyes open, alert, energetic. 5. Let that love through from your head to your toes, grounding you into the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2. You start to become aware of your surroundings. 1. Back with me. Open your eyes. Deep breath. How did that feel?
Oh, very nice.
I can see it in your face. You're,
So much.
yeah. You're welcome. So, let's start off. Amazing. So, Jessica, how did that feel of seeing the thoughts?
Um, like, as someone who meditates pretty frequently, it's pretty easy to go there. It's, during the day at different times of the day, it's a little out of my habit for the
Mhm.
middle of the afternoon, right? But nice to check out.
Okay. I see a lot of in you, there's a lot of waiting and a lot of structure in you feel like there's certain times of days where you can get that.
No, just when time allows. Sometimes, like, we're busy. We have lives, we have things, we have commitments, and so I do set aside time in the morning and time in the evenings for those things. If
See,
I'm lucky, I get to run off to the river in the middle of the afternoon, but that doesn't happen every day. In the car, while you're at work, it doesn't always happen like that. You can't just run off to the bathroom and sit on the toilet and breathe for a few minutes and then run back to work. We don't always have those luxuries.
so
So
a
it's
lot of because I used to be like you as well. I used to think like I needed to do this type of thing to get to where I want to be. This type of thing to get to that peace. Now I don't need to do that. I don't ever do that. I don't meditate.
yeah.
Like this
Well,
I use to help people to get into that state. But
sure.
we don't need to use meditation to get to that state. We can get there like that.
Right.
Just a thought.
Just it's good practice though. Like I like to dedicate time to it because it is good practice.
Yeah. But those times where you're like, I feel like I can't just get away because it's time. Even in those areas, you can feel that. You can
Yes.
feel that peace. You can feel that just, even in chaos.
Yes.
So the other day I was in chaos. There was a lot going on. I was overwhelmed. And I just sat for just a second. I was like, I'm creating this chaos, this overwhelm, this feeling of the time is coming in on me. I'm creating that using those thoughts. I'm connecting with those thoughts. And when we connect with those thoughts, we feel them. And it's when we feel them that's when it feels real. It feels like if like I had this thing where the time was coming in, it was coming at me and I didn't have any time. I was like, no, I'm creating that feeling of that time coming in me. And then when I sat with it and like, okay, is that true or is that me believing my thought? And that was me believing my thought. There was time, there was pockets of time that I didn't see because I was in that
Sure.
crazy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get lost in it and roll with it too. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have time to you would like to say you don't have time, but like instances that I talk about aren't necessarily me, they're outside factors. You have to deal with those. You have to well, you guys might not have to show up to work. I still have to show up to work. And there's a lot of crazy outside things that happen, you know? You have to navigate through them because it's not just me. It's a person I'm standing next to who's radiating their energy, not letting their energy affect me, right? I can't just check out of those moments because you have a duty
So,
to perform. You have a obligation to fill. You do have to show up in your life. You can't just
oh,
let it
absolutely.
all go.
This is not
Right.
about saying that I don't show up or I'm not taking action. My dad used to trigger the hell out of me. My dad used to be a very stressful person to be around, and it used to trigger the hell out of me, and I used to get really angry, and I used to, like, freak out, and then I would be reactive, and then he would react to me, and then it would be this loop.
Sure.
Now, I don't,
No,
because
you
I
bring the energy. You calm the people around you.
no, I don't try to change anyone else around me.
I allow them to grab my energy and use it so they can also check out. I do share my energy quite a bit.
I used to be like that a lot. When I used
Mm.
to be with other clients with my belief coding, I used to feel drained after a session.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I don't now.
Yeah.
I don't now because the thing is, when we think we're going to be drained, when we think people are taking our energy, then we're going to feel our thinking. If we think that we're being drained, we will feel that. And then
Sure.
we'll feel that, that reality will come through to us.
And you use
Now I
permission.
know that my energy is infinite. There is an abundance of energy. I never feel drained. And that's because I look at my thoughts and decide I don't have to believe that thought right now. I don't have to believe that I'm being drained. I don't have to believe that they're annoying me. I don't have to believe that I have to deal with those and make them change. I accept everyone as they are and then deal with it like that. Now, my dad and me, completely different relationship now.
Sure.
I used to get triggered by him. He used to drain me. I used to come home and be really frustrated, drained, angry, annoyed. And now I realized the other day, so he was stressing out a couple months ago of a computer. When he's on computers, he gets really angry when it doesn't work. And I was standing there and I realized it wasn't bothering me, wasn't affecting me in the slightest. And I just had this like, oh my God, it's not even annoying me. Like before, it would really trigger me and completely, we would have an argument. And instead, I just stood back, waited for him to have his tantrum with the computer. And I said, "Are you done now?" So calmly.
Sure.
And he must have heard something in my voice because I was so calm. And he was like, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Do you want me to help you now?" "Yeah." And that changed the whole dynamic of that relationship.
Sure.
Our coach often says, "All boats rise with the tide." That's the right one, isn't it? All boats
Yeah.
rise with the tide. And it means when we really become accountable for our own feelings, for our own thoughts, and when we start to change, everyone else starts to change around us because we're giving off a whole different vibration.
Yeah.
You
No
know,
power.
go
Well,
on, Jess.
it like when it comes to like going to work, like I get that you got a lot of people to have to deal with and there's a lot and I get frustrated and irritated at my job. People cut me off in the aisles or people but once I started seeing that my experience was coming from the inside, then when I'd get cut off in the aisle and I'd start to get really irritated and mad, I would call myself on it and be like, you know what? They're not doing anything any different than what they do every other day. And I could see that I was in a low mood. And so my thinking about what they were doing was causing my experience.
Mhm.
Sure.
So someone would do something and it would piss me off. And then I would call myself on it. They didn't piss me off because they're doing exactly what they do every other day. What's pissing me off is I'm having a lot of thoughts about what the hell they're doing.
Mhm.
And that's creating my experience of I work with idiots.
Exactly.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And it really gets you to, when you understand that and you look at other people, it really gives you compassion for other people. Even if they're being a right pain in the ass, you can see compassion. You can see that they're only in their thinking as well.
Sure.
They're thinking, they're feeling, and they're reacting. And when you see it for yourself, you see it in other people and like, oh, okay. I don't have to take that personally because I know that they're just all in their own thinking.
Well, it rarely has anything to do with us.
No. And the thing is, I always say this, like, we have buttons inside of us that are our responsibility. If someone can push your button, it's not their responsibility to tiptoe around you and not press it.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to remove that button.
Yes.
And we can do that with knowing that they're only triggering you by our own thoughts. So now I see anyone that triggers me, anyone that makes me angry, which hasn't happened in a long time, but anyone that does trigger me or piss me off, I'm like, oh, there's a button there. Thank you for showing me that. And it just changes everything.
Well, and like when we start to see what all the different things that our thoughts can look like. Okay.
Hmm.
So when I used to have a hard time going to Walmart because there were so many people, and I would get the heartbeat, and I would get that, and now it's like when I get that racing heart or, short on breath or whatever, it's, oh, I'm in my head. So now instead of, well, what thought is causing me to feel like this? Where is this coming from? And what do I need to do to fix it? I take out all of that step work and it's just like, hey, these are your thoughts and you're making yourself feel this way. And a good example of it's not just thought. Okay, my husband he was driving around and he had just put gas in a gas can and somebody pulled out in front of him. He slammed on the brakes and diesel went everywhere in his van. And he was like, "Don't even tell me this is just thought because it's not fucking thought." And I'm like, "Well, no, there's diesel in your van, but your experience is coming from you thinking about this asshole that drives like this and fuck this guy." And I said, those are the thoughts that are creating your experience because the situation is diesel spilled in the van. That's the whole situation. It's not good or bad. It doesn't have an agenda. It didn't happen because the universe was out to get him.
Yeah.
But once I kind of started explaining, talking him through, going through, well, why do you feel this way? Well, that asshole did this. Okay. So we looked into why did he do that? Well, you don't know why he did that. There could be a million reasons why he did that. Now, if you can be like, well, this happened and not this idiot caused this, which has made this much more work for me, and now why don't they just get it? But just seeing that all of that extra, why did he do this? What was going through his mind? You know, what would make someone drive like an asshole? Well, I looked at Tony and I'm like, babe, I love you, but you drive like an asshole all the time.
Mm.
And I'm sure that there's 100 people on the road all the time thinking, God, why does this guy have to drive like an asshole? Can't he be on his own side of the road? It's situations happen. Stuff happens, and that's never going to stop. No matter how grounded or centered or enlightened we are, life happens.
Yeah, we're human.
Yes. But the way we think about the situation, the way we grab on and think, well, if this person only hadn't have done this or would have done this, okay, that's where the suffering comes in. That's where the misunderstanding comes in. Because it's not the situation making you feel this way. It is your thoughts about the situation and the way you're looking at it.
Mm. It's
Granted,
like, go on.
yes, go ahead.
It's just I had a perfect example of this. So, a few years ago, I got done by phone fraud. So someone used my name to buy loads of phones, and I freaked out, panicked, cried, all of that stuff because I was like, "Oh my god, they've taken my name. They're doing all this. They're buying loads of phones in my name, and it's all coming to me." And I completely freaked out. I was phoning them up, nearly in tears, saying, "This wasn't me. I didn't do this." Um, and then it happened again, but this time I had three principals, and it happened again, and I was so calm. And I phoned them up. I was joking on the phone with them, and it was just a completely different experience. It was the same situation. Someone had taken my name, had taken phones out in my name, and fraud and all that kind of stuff. But it was a completely different situation because I knew my experience was coming from myself. It was coming from my own thinking about the experience. And because I knew that my experience was coming from my own thoughts, I got to have a completely different experience of the same thing. So it's never about the experience, it's about how we look at it, how we experience it through our own thinking and feeling. and it was sorted out in a day. And people were friendly with me. Last time I was getting shirty with them, I was getting angry with them. And it wasn't their fault, but I was just in panic. I was in fear. But this time it was a whole different experience. And I was joking on the phone with them. I was, laughing because I knew it was going to get sorted out. Whereas the other time I was just in this pure fear filled thought bubble. And I just thought that was a really good example of the two situations, but different situation, two different realities with the same circumstance.
Yeah, kind of to add on that, and I don't know, forgive me if it was one of you guys on this podcast or on my other podcast with somebody else. I know who it was. It was Jane on my other podcast. It's kind of like two people being stuck in an elevator between floors. The elevator stops between floors and it breaks down. It's not going anywhere. You're trapped in that elevator. Two people. One of them is over here freaking out, and the other one is perfectly calm. However, they're both experiencing the same external circumstances. The only difference is the thinking that they're having in that moment that's creating their experience that they're having in the now. Does that make any sense to you?
Totally.
That's all I wanted to add, guys. Go ahead.
So, Jessica, have you heard anything there that you haven't heard before, or that may have insight?
Um, well, it would be a lie to be like, yes, these are all brand new things, but they're not, right? And I find that the only time that I don't go through a lot of the things that you guys explained, like the frustration or the anger or the rage. I go through like hurt and sadness, I guess, more or less. And the things do not affect me if I do not care about the people. Like if there is no love there, like I would have empathy for a situation. Somebody could do something very bad. They could push me down, they could steal my gas, they could run off with my purse. And my first thought is always, gee, I wonder what happened to them to make them think that that was their only way out. It's not like a frustration or an anger that I take on. It's more sadness that they even have to experience that. Right. Like if I show up to work and the things are hectic, I'll give you a very funny example of how you don't bring it on yourself, but life happens, right? I'm at work the other night and a girl that I work with, also named Jen, she's supposed to be there and she's not. Her son is there. And she has just gotten into a car accident and her son is taking her shift because she is down talking to the police and the things, and she'll be here shortly. So about an hour later, she shows up. Well, I ran into the back of these two crackheads. They just slammed on their brakes, this, that, the other, whatever. And she's all freaked out, talking terrible things about these people. And my phone dings. And it is my seriously best, good, angelic friends, Dan and Kathy. They do Chrystal sound bowl work. Dan's mom had just passed away yesterday, right? So they're up in Kalispell. They're very distraught. This is who she hit. My friend Jen that I work with hits my friends Dan and Kathy. I have nothing to do with either of these things, except they happened to my friends on both sides, right? Has nothing to do with me, doesn't affect my day at work, but I see it ruining her day. I see it ruining their day. And I do feel like I am supposed to mediate between these people because they're people that I love and that I care about. There's no anger, there's no frustration, there's no upsetness. I had nothing to do with this. Why did this happen to both these people that I care? Like I do have some of those thoughts, right? Has nothing to do with me. I can continue on and do my thing. But two people that I love have been affected. And now I have like this sadness. Right? Like it's instances like that where I feel like it's usually about the well-being of the other people around me. I wish they could feel the things. I wish they could understand those things. And it is, it never has anything to do with us, really. Like it's not personal. Dan and Kathy, they didn't do anything to have their car hit. Jen didn't do anything to hit their car. Just life. And now these two people are completely affected by terrible things. They've created a hate for each other, which has caused division. And somehow I'm the link. And I can remove myself from being the link because it has nothing to do with me. But I just care because naturally they're my, I find myself in situations like that sometimes. And sometimes I think that what is mostly wrong with most of the world is we don't have empathy or love for the other people standing next to us. I think that's a huge drawback is people are just like, oh, well, that's your shit. I don't care. And off they go. And I feel sometimes like the world is really let down because we do not have that empathy and that love for the other people around us, understand where they're coming from, let them like even verbally throw it up to be able to realize it's not that big of a deal. And in 5 days, it wasn't that big of a deal. But in the moment, and these are people that know these things. These are people that practice Reiki. And these are people that do crystal sound bowl work. And these are just people that are very level and very grounded. And life still happens. And it's just very interesting sometimes. And to me, it brings on some sadness.
There's a
It's
big
not ever.
concept that, sorry, there's a
Yeah,
big
go ahead.
concept that if you're spiritual and you know these things, that we don't ourselves get trapped in those thought bubbles.
Because we do,
Yeah.
regardless of how much you know, as much as you walk away, the things still come.
Yeah. But it's not your responsibility.
No,
Unless they ask for your help, it's not. And that's a big thing for me as well that I did. But I come
and
from a
when they
family.
do, you have to choose yes or no very carefully. Can I do that and say no? No, I can't help you with that, or to my capacity, or
So you take on a lot of other people's stuff.
well, I don't carry it around with me. Like I
You're
don't.
carrying it here. I feel
Huh?
that there is a lot of heaviness that you carry for other people. I can see it. I can feel it.
Well, it's the general population of the world though. Like it gets into
But you
politics.
can't fix the world.
No, you
We
can't. But
can't
one
fix the
person at a
world.
time.
Yes, us.
Yes. But yes.
Us. And I think there's a misconception because I used to try and help my family. I come from a lot of my family have a lot of mental health, and I want to fix them. I want to help them.
Sure.
And when
It's
you're
not good.
trying to when you're trying to poke your nose into other people's kind of thing when they haven't invited you, it always comes back at you and it always slaps you in the face. And that's when you feel drained and you start feeling resentment. And I think when you realize that we can't help everyone and we can't help those that don't want to be helped, that we can just be a shining example. And then when we're a shining example, when we're feeling that energy, they can feel that. And then they come to us. But we don't have to say, because I used to have really bad friendships. And I had one where the two friends had a falling out and I was the one in the middle. And I just felt like I was being pulled back and forth. Well, why are you liking her? Why are you hanging out with her? Because she did this. Right. And then I was just like, I love both of them. It's not my job.
No.
I'm going to be me. And I'm not going to be pulled into this. If you want my help, I'll come and help you. If you want my help, I'll come to help you. If you want to talk together with me in the middle, I will be there. But it's not my job to try and fix their relationship. It's not
No,
my
but does
job.
it not make you sad if you see it?
Well, of course it
You
makes me
don't have a little bit of
sad.
sadness that you see,
Of
like when
course,
you
I'm
notice
human,
those things.
but it's not
Okay.
my job. When we hold on to that
Ah,
sadness, all emotions are amazing. All emotions are just telling us where our thinking's taking us. If you're feeling sad, you're having sad thoughts. If you're feeling joyful, you're having joyful thoughts. It is still just a
sure.
thought that's creating the feeling we're having. And you can
Yeah.
look at someone but the thing is, when we're in that sad place, they're going to get sad energy from us. When we're in that, I'm calm, I'm happy, they're going to get happy energy from us. So what vibration do you think you're going to be the most useful to these friends? In the sad vibration or in the happy vibration?
Of course.
The happy.
It's,
So we don't need to have that sadness. You can see it and you can see, okay, I'm feeling sad. That means I'm having sad thoughts. Okay, thank you. I'm going to choose. Well, you don't even have to choose. You can just notice I'm having sad thoughts. That's why I'm feeling sad. It's not about the situation. I'm having thoughts about the situations that are making me feel sad because we feel our thinking. We don't feel a situation. We're in a situation, but we only feel our thinking. And when we realize that, I'm like, okay, I can be happy. Like the situation where I was with my dad when he was going off on one. Normally, I would be in a vibration of frustration, annoyance, anger, whereas I was calm. And he got that calm version of me. He got that calm, I'll help you. Whereas if I was in the other situation, whether it's sadness, frustration, anger, whatever it is, you're going to give that vibration of whatever feeling you're in. And you can only see things at that vibrational level. Say, for instance, if you're on a ladder, okay, and you're up here in joy, you can see over the wall. But if you're down here in sadness, grief, frustration, anger, you can only see at that level. You can only help them at that level. So the best things we can do to help other people around us is be in the highest fucking vibration we can and not come down to the sadness, the frustration, the anger, the annoyance, because then we can only help them from that level. Go
Sure.
on, Jeff.
Well, and we got to feel those. Like, we do got to feel those. It's not that
Yeah.
we're saying, oh, I won't feel that. It's a big, sorry, I don't even know.
I know where you're going. We're allowed
Yeah.
to feel our emotions as well. We are human. And the best way to let them through, like the clouds, come in, come out. We're not saying don't feel sadness. Feel it, then let it
No,
go.
it's not like overwhelming sadness. It's just like this situation that comes, like you recognize it, you're like, oh, that's totally sucky for both of these people that I care about,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
right? And then there's little funny jokes like Jen just ran her truck in fucking Dan and Kathy's car. She thinks they're crackheads, but really his dad just died. Like the things are sad. Compassion for each other, right? Like you should meet these people under completely different circumstances. You would love them. You
Yeah.
could trade Chrystal sound bowl work for a massage. You guys would love each other if this thing wouldn't have happened. They would have been the best of friends. But because of the day that they were having, the day that, the stuff was going about and the circumstances that life had handed them. And it's funny to me that I find myself as a middle link between these two people who never would have met
Hmm. Or maybe that's
under
the thing.
regular circumstances, right?
Maybe they
And
will
then,
come friends.
well, right. But it takes somebody who can bring that energy that you're talking about to not cause more hate,
Mm.
to not cause more division, to be a soft landing place, right? And instead of growing on this ugliness where they're calling insurance companies and trying to eat each other from both sides, it is a spark of conversation of, damn, I wonder if you could have any empathy for the fact that his dad just passed away. And to these guys, damn, I wonder if you could have any empathy for the fact that, you know, her her kids were at school, there was traffic and she was late to get them and now late for work and is in a car accident.
Hmm.
Could you love each other from the other sides? Could you, under any other sort of circumstances, if I would have taken Jen to their Crystal Sound Bowl work, they might have been beautiful best friends. And if I would have taken them to her massage studio and Reiki therapy, and I was just this common link between both of them, right? And being able to bring the energy like you're talking about, but there's still like the level of sadness that I feel, it's not like this overwhelming sadness. It's like a thing when you watch the news and you watch the division being created. Like as a whole, you guys are getting ready to enter into this, like everybody's interested in mental health. Everybody is interested in finding that peace. Everybody is interested in getting away from the chaos. The amount of people that are leaving these huge towns and coming to my little small Montana to get away from it all is ruining my small Montana because they're bringing all their garbage with them. It makes me sad. They're not coming here
Jen,
to
what
get their
was you?
feet dirt,
Sorry, I'm just gonna
you know? It's just,
Jen, you had something to say. I'm just gonna quickly go to Jen quickly.
yeah.
Oh,
Jennifer.
I don't remember it, so that's why I stopped.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on. I think I was gonna say it's not. So the situation happened. So it's not about getting Dave and Cassie or Jen to see the other person's side right now, but to
No.
see where they're feeling coming from, to see that they're feeling isn't because Jen hit him with the car. Like, yeah, that's a big thing. That was like, hey, but
No, that was her thing, right? There, yeah.
if you're able to call it for thinking, okay, and test the theory. That's what I try to tell everybody. Test the theory. When you feel a way you don't want to feel, call it out for thought and step back and observe it. Don't grab onto it. Don't engage with it, but observe. And
Yeah.
the more you step back and see and call on it, like, oh my God, this is a thought. I'm stuck in my thinking right now. Even when I talk to my family and stuff, when I'm irritated with someone that's over here, I don't tell my husband, "Oh, these guys are fucking assholes." It's, "Oh my God, I'm having a whole lot of thinking about their thinking right now, and I need to step back." But in
Mhm.
just the reshaping it and just the reframing it and seeing it that way, the amount of power it takes, because I was always giving my power to everybody else because they were pissing me off. So I was allowing them to have control over how I was feeling until I really and I had to calm myself on it. I had to test myself. I had to find myself in the thought process, call myself on it, back off from it, and watch and see how the same situation from 1 minute of believing the shit that's going on in my head, engaging with it, and acting as if it was true, to, oh my God, these are thoughts. Back up, how my experience of the same situation within 5 minutes can be completely different.
Completely different.
Completely different.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
when we take our power back, which is our feelings, which is our experience, we create that. That is our power, you know? We have zero control over the circumstance. Shit happens. Life is going to happen, and it's unpredictable, and it's always going to
Sure.
do, and it's always trying to move up, but sometimes we're in that fucking lane that has to get toppled. You know, if you're digging it up, it sometimes we get toppled, sometimes we get tossed around. But for as long as I'm believing that what other people say and what other people do are the cause of my experience, I'm giving all of my power away.
Sure.
And just by
Yeah. Like take
changing,
nothing personally because it doesn't really have anything to do with you.
yes, and
It's
and
people
again,
treat
we can say
people.
these words, but it's like when we can really call ourselves and see our thinking for thinking and take that step back and give our attention to that space, the space between the thoughts in our head. And when we can give our attention to that silence, that emptiness, that nothing,
Yes. The
that's the
void.
greatest thing because everything comes out of nothing.
Mhm.
Everything, all of us came from nothing. And it's in that nothing, that formlessness, that spiritualness that you can't see and you can't, you know, it's just space. When we start giving more of our attention to that space and not the noise, now I talk about the noise in between the spaces instead of the space in between the noise.
Right. And it
Okay.
grows.
But it's in that silence that all of our power lies
And the
because
answers
that
come to us.
allows wisdom and life to come through us. But when we're giving all of our attention to the noise and believing it and feeding it and just giving it energy, but when we call it like, okay, yes, maybe this happened before. I just got triggered and now this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling right now, and that is true. But what I believe is making me feel this way is not what I think it is. I don't feel like I'm comfortable around people because I was abused as a child. Okay, through years of society and counseling and whatever, I'm made to think that because these things happen, then I'm going to feel this way. And to a point, yes, there is things. But once was able to take that belief that, well, I got, my trauma fucked me up and that's why I am the way I am. And I was able to set that down, be like, well, my trauma fucked me up. But now it's me thinking about it and pulling that shit up that isn't even real anymore. It's not happening
Sure.
right now. It's not real. And my memory of it probably isn't even accurate because we have a
Sure.
memory of a memory. Okay. So once I stopped believing it and called it as, hang on, this is thought and this is not real right now, no matter how real it feels, it's like it would take the power out. I would still feel the feelings, but it's not a, oh my God, I just want to get away from this. I can't handle this. Because I did
Sure.
that a lot in my life. And I smoked a whole lot of meth because I couldn't handle the feeling that my
Yeah.
thoughts were
Anything to point.
creating that I believed
Yeah.
to be true. And now when I call it like, these are just thoughts. This is just me, you know, coming up with reasons of why I should feel this way. And then and the more I dig into it, try to figure out why I'm feeding that feeling, even if I'm trying to figure it out why to understand it. Here's the thing, I don't have to understand it. I just have to understand that it's a thought and it's going to change. It's going to change because the true nature of thought is that it's transient. It's constantly flowing. It's constantly changing. And having that knowledge and knowing that when I hit with these thoughts that I don't know what they are, but I physically feel them, when I can call it and be like, this is thought. Stop. This is thought. And step into that little bit of space, all of a sudden my experience is different. All of a sudden it doesn't hold
Yes.
that power over me to make me make this choice, which I've made way too many times because it never worked before, but it might be different this time. You know?
Yeah.
How
When
many
you aren't a victim anymore, you're just no, but you're not ignorant, you know? At
right.
least you have a baseline. At least you understand something for somebody else who has gone through that experience, which makes them not alone. But the minute
Yes.
you are no longer victim to your own life, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a huge piece. If you don't look
Yes.
at it as if it happened to you for any terrible reason because you're a bad person, but more of
Yes.
just like you had to go through those things or you wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now doing these things. Having empathy for people who are currently where you were, right? And there is a sadness sometimes when I bring that back as to when you talk to people who are where you were and you do see that and recognize it, that doesn't mean you are victim to that. But there should be a little bit of a, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened to you too. Now we can talk. No, there's like a fuck, I'm so sorry that that happened to you too, but you're not alone. Like the world is beautiful, yes, and it is full of love and empathy, but we don't have to run around as victims. And why did those people do those things to you? And can you have empathy for them? Does it even matter? Or do you just go about your day like it doesn't, because it is happening to everybody every day. And people, you have to help them unpack some of their stuff to even get them to this bridge where they can turn that thought around. And that's a lot of work.
Okay,
See,
Can
so
be
that's where I
lost.
disagree.
go ahead, Melissa.
Sorry, I spent that time. I spent that time unpacking, and it kept me on a loop. I'm broken. I'm broken. I'm broken. I'm still not fixed. I'm still not fixed. I still need to do that. Next modality, next modality. And I just kept going on this fucking loop over and over again. Because every time you go and try to fix yourself, you're telling yourself, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Well,
You're telling
then,
yourself you're broken. Telling yourself you need,
Not,
I know that
not
bloody
fixing
balloons
it.
come up all the time.
But
But
sometimes you do have to look at those things to even get where you were to be able to hear the next step.
see, I didn't
Well, you did,
start
because you just said
healing
that you tried to unpack a
until
lot.
I had
And it didn't
unpacked
work.
a lot. And it was a lot of work, and it was
Good.
exhausting, and it was not fun. Then I
Good.
come into the free principles, and it just
Good.
completely fucking changed my life, because I realized I didn't have to go back. Because I had I was raped when I was younger, and I went back to that, and I brought it all back up, and I just kept going on this bloody circle over and over again. Whereas the free principles says the past doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We have, like Jen was saying earlier, we have thoughts about it. I
Sure.
don't need to bring those thoughts to me to heal. I can just drop it right now. I can drop it right in this instant, because the only thing that exists right now is the right now. I don't
Agreed.
need to bring that into this moment. I can say, okay, I've learned from that. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the experience. I can just let it go now.
You
And
show up to a girl in the
sorry,
ER. I said, if you showed up in the ER tomorrow to a girl that had just happened to, she would not take kindly to your thought process right
she
then.
has to grieve.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Everyone has to
That is
grieve. But
unpacking
the
a piece,
problem is with the
No.
a different
looping
word.
of the
Grieve.
of these modalities is they keep you in that grieving loop.
Yes.
All the emotions need to be felt, but then they need to be let
Yes.
go of.
And then they need to be let go.
Whereas
Yes.
this is constantly, I was constantly on that wheel. I was constantly having to go back. I was constantly having to, oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, I've got another limiting belief. I'd change that limiting belief, and then I'd have 10 more fucking pop up. And I don't need to do that. I don't ever now go and find, oh, where's that thought coming from? Where's that belief coming from? I just know that I'm thinking a thought that's creating the feeling, and that is it. And I can be like, okay, I'm having a thought that's telling me I'm not worthy. I'm having a thought that's telling me I'm not good enough. I'm having a thought that's telling me I can't do that. That's it. It's just a thought, and I'm feeling that thought. I'm having a thought that, okay, I had sexual issues, okay? I'm having a thought that I'm not safe having sex right now. I'm having a thought that my partner and me are not safe to have sex. That's a thought. And I don't need to go back and unpack it, because I know that it's just a thought.
But you
That's
already have.
it's creating my reality. And when I started doing that, that's when my relationship with my partner really started to shift, because I spent years with him trying to make myself feel safe. I went through modality over modality trying to sort this sexual problem out, because I thought it was my past that was causing it. It's not my past that's causing it. It's my thinking in the now that's causing my feeling in the now, that's causing my
Yes.
behavior in the now. And it's all happening in the now. So I don't need to go back. I don't need to unpack anything. I can just drop it there, leave it there, and just live a beautiful, happy mind. And I have. Like, I've dropped it all. I've dropped all the modalities I've learned. I did everything. I went from ayahuasca, I went from breath work, I did it all.
We're
All
having
of
a
it.
translation problem here, though, because I don't think unpacking for me means what it means to you guys. But I would venture to say that the three of you would not be sitting here doing this had you not gone through that first.
So this is where I feel like law of attraction. Like, I definitely believe in law of attraction.
Yes.
And I've gone through this so I can help people be
Yes.
attracted to me, so they don't have to go through all the rubbish I went through.
Yes.
They have to
You
go
know,
through some of it.
everyone has their own journey.
Sure.
But the person that I'm going to attract is the person that's fed up with doing that. Is fed up with going through the
Yes.
loop. Is fed up with going through all these coaching things. Is fed
Yes.
up with going through all the breath work. And I'm there ready for her.
Yes.
I'm
The
there
next
ready
step.
to
Yes.
show her how simple it can be.
Yes.
How simple it is just a thought that's creating your experience. That's it.
I
Don't have
believe
to unpack it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to try and change your thoughts. You don't have to do affirmations after affirmations. You don't have to meditate for fucking hours. You don't have to do all this shit that I've done. You
Yeah.
can just see that it is thinking.
Yes. And yes. I think we agree on a lot of those things. I think we agree on a lot of those things. It has been my experience over the course of the last 10 years or so that people unpack or grieve or something, but they have to be fed up. They have to
Yeah.
be like sometimes you kind of have to exhaust some things. Sometimes you have to go through the shit to get to the bridge to even be able to allow another
Yes,
idea
yes.
to come into play. You have to grow that idea that it's even possible. You have
You're
to,
not
like, you can tell somebody all day long.
Go on, Jen.
well, you're not going
That's you.
to get to the bridge, okay? You're not going to even be looking for the bridge unless you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Unless there's something in
When
your
you're
life
done,
that
you're
is
done.
not working for you and you're already looking for some way to do it differently. Okay?
Yeah.
So when people are looking for a new way, they become open. And when they become desperate, they become open enough to stop listening to respond and start listening to hear.
But that does take active practice because so each one of us, well, no, like, okay, the turning point for me, where was the turning point for you? There were big things that happened in every single one of our lives when enough was enough, but we did not choose suicide, we did not choose drug overdose, we did not choose to hurt ourselves, we chose something better. A lot of people don't. Everyone is looking to kind of get rid of that piece, and if you are lucky enough to hear that, you can just let it go. If you are lucky enough to stand next to someone who allows you to see that you are not alone, but there is a different way, like, you have to hold some people's hands to get them here. Who told you guys about these things? And what was going on in your life where you were even open enough to hear it? Because
I
you
get
didn't just show up here yesterday.
no,
Like,
and I
there
get
was a
exactly where
thing
you
that
mean because
brought you here.
because year before I started this, I couldn't get on to grips of it. I couldn't hear,
Right.
you know.
I
I
heard, but I
come back
wasn't listening.
after a year because I was getting angry with it.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, you're in this space now.
Yeah.
People talking to us are in this space now. We're not interested in helping anyone else that's not in the space because they're not our people, you know.
Right.
We're not responsible for anyone else in the world.
Just to help
We are
those who.
there to help those that come into our orbit.
Yes.
And when our orbit's like this, then our orbit grows, and then that grows, and then that grows, and then that grows, and then
The
that's how you
ripple.
help the world. The
The
ripple,
ripple
exactly.
effect. Yes.
Yes.
I'm not responsible for all these other people that you're talking about. Like, that's not my responsibility. It's
Sure.
not my responsibility to go out and find these people. They come to me. They
Yeah.
come to us,
They don't go out and
you know.
find them there.
And if someone's not open, then they're not ready, and that's okay. That's their own
Sure.
journey.
Sure.
You know,
But if
everyone
they
has
are
their own
open and just
journey.
need to hear it,
Then they'll hear it.
then they will hear it.
Then they
Yeah.
will hear it. They
Yeah.
will be in the vicinity. They will hear it.
But it's like when we're so worried about what to say to make somebody hear it, then
You don't have to worry about that
essentially
because it will just come.
we're essentially giving off the energy that you're not you're not right yet. You're not right and you need to hear
You're
this.
broken.
If you would just hear me,
Nobody
you
would
would
say
get
that.
it, and it's whenever I feel like I just want to reach out and like shake this into somebody, I take a step back into myself. I try to listen to the nothingness. I give my attention to that space because the more I want to help somebody and the more I want somebody to get this, then the further out of my grounding I am getting. But when I can stay grounded and
Yes.
true to me and my understanding, then
Yes.
people see that light. And when they're ready, they will come to me. And sometimes they come a little bit, they ask some questions, and then they gotta, I'm not sure if I like that answer. I gotta go. And that is good. That's fine because
They got to
I'm
go,
not
but they'll come back.
attached to the outcome. And I know that if I give my
Uh,
energy into building my grounding, extending what I understand and where I'm at,
Yes.
that's more rooted I become, the more grounded and the deeper my understanding gets, the brighter my light shines. And
yeah.
then people come to me, even the people that have come and left and come back and left. It's the you'll come when you're ready. But right now, this is, I'm not worried about fixing you because you're going to be fine because you are life living itself. And something's going to happen and you're
Mm.
going to get knocked out of your own way at some point. And I will be standing here
Waiting.
waiting.
Yeah.
Also, when we look at someone, sorry,
No, you're good. Go ahead.
go on.
Go
Oh,
on.
okay.
Melissa,
Sorry.
go on.
A bit of a lag here. um, Also, when we look at someone and we see they're broken and we say, oh, you're broken, oh, you're poor thing, we are confirming that to them. We're confirming that they're broken, or we're confirming that, you know, they
You'd
need
never
help.
tell anyone that.
But what we mean is when you're seeing someone, you're feeling that sadness. I don't see sadness. I see a beautiful human being that's just in there thinking. And when we can give that confidence to that person and show them that they're not broken, they're not traumatized, they're not all of this, then they can have that confidence to feel that,
Of
you know?
course. Yeah.
And, but if we're looking at someone and feeling sorry for them or feeling sad or feeling all this kind of thing, then we're energetically confirming that they're broken. We're confirming that they need help, that we're confirming to them that there's something missing in their life, or they something's wrong with
They're
them.
not.
Whereas if we're standing here and we're thinking, you are perfect just the way you are, you're just having a thinking that's causing your feelings, that's causing your reality, that's causing your behaviors.
Yes.
I'm here as that grounding, like Jen says, in my grounding, in my frequency, showing you the way, showing you where that is actually, where your suffering is actually coming from. We don't need to go into, I could help someone and we don't need to go into their past. I don't need to know the content of your thinking. Just know that you are thinking. And that thinking alone is causing your feelings.
Yes.
And those feelings are a compass. All of our feelings are amazing. They're a compass, and I use them like a compass now. If I'm feeling sad, I know I'm having sad thoughts. If I'm feeling angry, I know I'm having angry thoughts. And I don't stay in them very long. Like, I used to stay
Yeah.
in anger for weeks. Now, if I got angry, I'm very quick at getting out of it. Not because I'm trying to avoid it, but just because I see it.
You don't need
Like,
to stay
oh,
there.
and then I'm
Yes.
like, oh, it's gone. Because I've seen what it is, it doesn't linger, it doesn't stay.
Because you allow it to
And,
pass through. You
go on, Jen.
haven't built a dam, you
Yes.
know? Like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Well, and
this person,
anger is being a secondary emotion, being able to label what that is so you can let it go. Like anger is not a real emotion. It comes from
Every
uh
emotion is real.
yes,
anger is a
yes.
secondary emotion though.
But
Like the thing that really caused you to be
But
angry
again, that's
is
the
different.
story. That's the story. Again, you're going
that
back into the story and you're going back into that kind of going old, 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 old.
But
Going
why
back.
are
you're
you
digging
angry?
Let's
the
try and
Are
figure out
empty
why we're
plant.
angry. Just,
well, I don't know.
yeah, you're digging it out. And we don't
You
need to
dig
dig. We just say,
the
oh,
content.
if I'm
And
feeling
what
angry, I'm having an angry thought.
is we don't have
Go on, Jen.
to dig into that content. Well, like when we're feeling angry or we're feeling sad or hurt because, something didn't go the
Or
way we
something.
wanted it to. It's we feel that, but instead of damning it, it's the acceptance of this is how I feel right now. and in accepting it without feeding it or trying to hide from it or trying to make me not feel that way and just, ooh, I'm angry right now. It opens up and it allows it to flow through. So then you're not jamming it up or hiding it or pretending like it's not there because that's not who you want to be. Well, guess what? That's who all of us are. You know, we all have all of the emotions and we are all supposed to feel all of them. And
Yeah.
when we just allow to have a feeling, like, well, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I'm done with it. It's, but when we try to dig into the content, okay, well, anger is a secondary emotion. So then why am I feeling angry? And then we're digging into this content and we're making it way, and we don't have to do that because it's okay if anger is a secondary emotion. I felt angry right there. Let it pass. Felt hurt right there. Okay, that hurt, that sucked. Move on. It's the staying open so they can flow through you instead of hiding from them, denying them, or trying to change them.
And not
And
only that as well, like when we allow those, sorry, when we allow those emotions to go through, like you said, a secondary, obviously normally there is fear after anger. Let's say, for example, I suffered with overwhelm, real bad overwhelm. And underneath that overwhelm, it was fear.
Sure.
And I used to try to find out what thought was creating that overwhelm. What belief did I have? And I'd just go on this bloody adventure trying to figure out what it was that was causing it. And, you know, I could be there for years and years and years, you know. But whereas the other month, I had this, again, the surge of overwhelm. And I sat with it and I said, okay, I'm going to allow myself just to feel it, be the observer of it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to try to change it. I'm not going to try to stop it. I'm just going to sit down and let myself feel it. And I felt it. And it was fucking hard. It was
Yeah.
horrible. You know, I felt it all in my body. I could feel it. Like my whole body was like, ugh, like I hated it.
Sure.
And it took, you know, it took a little while before it started to subside. And then because I did that, because I was quiet, the answer just come to me anyway.
Right.
That's it. That, I didn't know digging. No trying to find it. It just come to me because I was quiet and I was allowing it to
Yes.
flow. And because you're allowing it to flow, the answer will often come up. And it was just fear. It was fear of being seen. It was fear of showing up.
Yes.
That was all it was. But my thinking was creating all this overwhelm and I couldn't see anything other than the overwhelm because I was trying to control it. But as soon as we stop trying to control our emotions and just be humans and feel them, which is what we're
Yes.
supposed to do, as human beings, we're just supposed to feel our emotions, let them pass. The answer will probably pretty much be there when it's passed. We don't have to go in digging. And it's a different kind of knowing. Like once you've let the emotion pass, that knowing of what it was, it comes with peace. Whereas when you go digging, it comes with anger, frustration, annoyance. Like, oh, you know, when I went digging for all these answers for years, I would have frustration. I would have anger. I'd be like, how can I know all this and yet still be stuck? Whereas when I allow my feelings to come in, flow through, then I get the answer straight away. And it's like, it's like a relief. It's like, oh, it was that. No big deal. Because
It
it's
would
the
be
other
so
side
nice
of
if our conditioning came with that out of the gates. It would be so nice that at the very beginning, as we have these babies in our wombs, right, that we
It
were
would be
telling
nice.
them
It
these
wouldn't
things
like
and
be
we were
too easy.
training them for that, you know, like for that to be the norm would be so beautiful. But that is not the way society and the world trains people and conditions people to be.
No, that's why we're here.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it is.
it's not our
And
responsibility to fix the world.
no, it's not. But as a collective, yes, it is.
Yeah, and we do that
It is
by
not
ourselves.
your responsibility. It is
No,
our
but
responsibility to
I
bring that,
know the
to
best
offer
thing I
that.
can do, the best thing we can do to help the world is to concentrate on ourselves first.
What you do
Get
for the world,
so
you do for yourself.
overfilled with abundance, with
Yes.
energy, with this joy of life that
What
we
you do
attract
for
other
yourself.
people around.
Yes.
if we're still concentrating, if we're still trying to control the outside world, we're still kind of, because I was like that, I was like, oh, I can fix the world.
No, but
Not
there
my
has
job.
to be empathy and understanding and patience for the way that the world has been
Of
conditioned.
course, that
And
is
there is some
without saying.
unconditioning to do.
But I'm
There are
not going to
50,
go out
60,
seeking.
70-year-olds. Well, you don't have to go out and seek it. It will just come to you, whether you're
Exactly. And
making a
that's when
business
I'll
out
be
of it
ready.
or not. It will just come to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask for these things. You don't have to
No.
manifest these things. You don't have to do any of this shit. It will just come to you. And it might
Yeah.
happen on a park bench. It might not happen through your link. It
No,
might
exactly.
happen at
I helped
Starbucks
someone
and
with a
not.
grief.
It
I helped
happens.
someone with grief with her mum.
Yes,
So I was talking to
it,
this woman
it just
and was
happens.
grieving her mum at this networking event, and she just comes to me, and I'm just there sharing my understanding of the three principles, sharing my understanding of grief, and she
Yes,
just burst out in tears and says, "You're the first person that's ever said it like that." And she's been in therapy for years.
for years. So she is now ready. She has done the things. Like not as in she was never ready, but it does take a certain amount of understanding to even be able to understand what you're saying when everything else doesn't work.
Of
People
course.
do naturally try that
But
first.
I'm not trying to convince
It-
those other people.
You don't have to try to convince it to other people. It's just the way that they are hardwired. You were hardwired the same way at one
Yeah.
point. So was I. So was Jen. So
So
was,
let's get down to what it is you're trying to say.
I don't think we're disagreeing on anything. I'm thinking that there is just, I think we are agreeing on the same thing. I think we're just saying it different ways.
So what is it? Because you do quite often go back to the external, the world.
But yes, it is, it is a, it's changing one day at a time, right? There's,
Mhm.
I look at the world as a puzzle, if you will. Four
Mhm.
corners, four edges, four things, and it takes every piece to make a complete picture. Every piece has their part that they play.
Yes, but we can't control each piece. We can only control our own
No,
piece.
but we link with them,
Yeah.
like some
And the
piece,
more we link with other people, that
and
links,
they
that links,
branch to
that
every
links.
other piece.
But while we're here, we're
Right.
only in control of the pieces around us.
This is just, I'm
It's
just in
not.
control of my piece and making sure that
Yeah.
it aligns, like
Yes.
that it's not the wrong
Exactly.
piece in the wrong spot,
Exactly.
if
So
you
we
will,
don't need to
if
put
you
any
are.
of our energy on the pieces over here. Because
No,
we know once we do our pieces and those pieces grow, the
sure.
people around that piece, that's their responsibility.
That's the ripple.
My responsibility is the pieces around me,
Yes.
not over there. So I don't need to bring that into my awareness because that's not my responsibility. If I bring those pieces into my consciousness, into my worry, I'm going to get overwhelmed.
Yes.
I'm going to
Well,
think,
and no
oh,
one
shit.
person can do it alone, but we each can do a piece.
Yeah.
It's
So I don't need to focus on it. I can look and see what's happening, but I don't need to bring that into my awareness because it's like the news. I don't watch the news because
I don't watch
unless
that.
unless it's happening in my town, I don't need to know about it,
You're right.
you know? And it's the
Yes.
same with this. I don't need to know about other people healing if they're not in my circle because that's not my responsibility. I'm here to help these
Right.
people, and these people will help other people, and these people will help other people. Like you said,
Yes.
the ripple effect.
The ripple.
Mhm.
Yes.
I don't need to be concentrating on ripple number 4.
No.
I just need to concentrate on keep rippling out.
Your
And I can do
yes,
that.
that would
The
be it.
more energy I have, the less energy that I'm spent putting it over there, 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 and there, the more energy I have to create my ripple even bigger.
Yes. I agree with that.
You know, the bigger my ripple, the bigger their impact.
Yes.
And so
I
that's
agree with-
why I don't put, it's not because I don't care about the world. I love the world. I think the world is beautiful. You know, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. I love this world. I love my life. I love people.
Yes.
You know, it's not because I don't care about them. It's because I know that if I can bring all my energy here and do my best here,
Yes.
I'm going to make more of an impact.
Just doing
Mhm.
my best. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. We can only do our best. And the more energy we have, the more flow we have, the more abundance of energy,
Yes.
then that's just going to create such a big ripple.
It can. It can.
Yeah. And so we don't need the world is too big for one person, like you say, like we don't need to concentrate on whatever's happening because we know the right people that need us in this right moment will find us.
No, it
They'll
starts with
be
us.
attracted
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
And the more powerful we are, the more impact we make on the world. The more in love of ourselves we are, the more we fight back and rebel.
Yes.
And
You
the
know,
more grounded
we rebel with love.
that we are, the more we allow everyone around us to get comfortable in getting grounded and being authentic. Because I think that the
You're moving.
biggest impact I've had on people is just by the work I've done on myself. If that
Yes.
makes sense. Like I worked on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I respond differently. I react differently. I do things differently. I look at it differently. And the more work I did on myself, the more my husband noticed, the more my kids noticed, the more my aunt noticed, the more people at work started to notice. And just by me focusing my energy on me, it's like I allowed people to step into a space where they were good enough, where they weren't broken. But every time I've tried to think, oh, I'm going to help this person, okay, let me do this and let me do this. And I've tried. Every time I've tried to help people, it has not worked out as well. It has backfired. It has created drama. It has and every time I catch myself trying to put something on, then that's my cue to, hey, you're in your head and not in your grounding. And I step back and try to get in my grounding. Because it's in working on myself and bettering myself. That's how I'm doing it for the world. Because when we
Yes.
get
What you
deeply,
do for yourself,
deeply,
you do.
yes. And when we're able to be authentic and to show up and to live in calm and peace, it's like we radiate that shit and
Yes, we do.
give permission to the people around us to step into that. And people will come into that at their own time
Yes.
and their own speed. You know, some people are going to stand on the
Yes, they
edge,
will.
just on the sidelines for 10 years. And they know all the things and they know how to do all the
Sure.
things. Okay. But there's a difference between knowing intellectually and it touching that your soul with that knowing and where you just know it's true. Even if it shouldn't be true, but that's I believe that and that is where we're at, when I first heard that we all have perfect mental health just underneath our thinking, I was the perfect one to be like, well, that's bullshit. But no, that rang true to me. I heard that and I knew that, but for my thinking, I was good. The only thing that got in my way was my thinking and my ideas and me trying to figure it out, me trying to force and me thinking that they were out to get me and that. But for my thinking, I've always been perfectly mentally healthy.
Yeah, I love that we have perfect mental well-being underneath our thoughts. And I listened to a podcast today, and I can't remember his name, Tim someone, and he says about what is innate well-being. And innate well-being is formless. Because if it was in the form, health, wealth, friends, whatever it is, if it was in the form, then it could be subjective, you know? Whereas our innate well-being is not subjective. It is in every single human being on the world. It's in the formless. And we can connect to that easily. It's just above the thinking that we're doing. So it doesn't matter if you've got an illness, whether you've got one leg, whether you've lonely, whether you're on drugs, whatever it is, whatever your external situation is, you have access to that innate well-being all
Yeah.
the time. It's spiritual, it's formless, and we have access to that. And the only thing that keeps us from it is our thinking. It's like clouds, you know, loads and loads of clouds of thinking. And we think we're the clouds, but we're not. We're the sky above it. And the only thing that's stopping that sunshine from shining through is all those clouds, all those thinkings. And when we just drop that thinking, doesn't matter if it's about the past, about trauma, about whatever it is, as soon as we can drop it, it's a clear sky. That peace that people are searching for, that's that sky. Right there,
Right.
always there. No matter the clouds, no matter how stormy it is, that sky is always there. Our innate well-being is always there, that sky. Always. It's never gone.
Yeah.
And so when we're going through, you know, looking what's caused that cloud there? Why is that cloud so murky? Why is that cloud so heavy and dark? I need to find out why that is. No. Just look above. We want the sky. We want that peace. We don't need all of that. We don't need to do all of this stuff to get to the sky. We just need to see that that cloud is just a cloud. It's not solid. Have you ever tried putting a hand through a cloud? It just goes through. It's air,
Yeah.
but it looks solid. Our thinking looks solid, but it's not. We are so powerful, and we are literally one thought away from complete peace. That's it. And I felt that peace. Crystal's felt that peace. Jen's felt that peace. It is beautiful. And I didn't have to do anything for it. Literally, I was driving down the road and I felt its love just hit me out of nowhere. It just consumed me. I had tears running down my face. I didn't have to do anything from it. I didn't have to do any effort. It just happened because I was quiet enough in that moment to let it in.
Yeah.
I had clouds in the way. That's all that's in our way of the peace. Clouds. Thoughts.
Stories.
We are so close to peace.
Love
Every second of the day, whether you're in chaos, whether you're having an argument, whether you're in a war zone, wherever you are always one thought away. Well, not even one thought away. You're literally there.
it. Love
That's
it.
how powerful this understanding is, and how simple it is. But we humans, we like to oversimplify everything. We like to make everything complicated. We like to make everything like, you know, in order to get that peace, I have to struggle. In order to feel that peace, I have to have gone through this. In order to feel that peace, I need to have healed. Bullshit. Utter bullshit. You can feel that peace any second of any day.
There's no prerequisite.
No.
There's nothing that says you have to go through this first.
No.
Or you
There's
can't
no.
have this peace because you're already
Exactly.
born with the peace.
Mm-hmm.
The peace has always been there. The peace
Yeah.
will always be there.
You don't have to earn it. And that's what a long time ago I felt like I had to earn my peace. That's why I went through all of it. I thought, oh, I'm not ready for peace yet because I haven't struggled enough. You know, I need to struggle more. And I went through all these bloody things, digging deep, finding shit that just I didn't need to dig up because it was in the past. And like we said, the past doesn't exist anymore. Yes, if you've just experienced something, allow yourself to grieve about it.
Sorry.
But if it's 10 years in the past, it's right. If it's 5 years in the past, even if it's 2 weeks in the past, it's in the past. It's not happening now. You know, if something bad happens, yes, deal with it. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself feel the emotions, but let them pass. Because it's when we don't let them pass that they stock up. You know, and then that's when we start feeling heavy and feel like that we're dragging everything around with us. Yeah, my kind of like, my God, it's been an hour and a half.
I know my phone kicked me off.
A very good thing.
Honestly, it's just such this free pencil is such a freeing, light-hearted way of life that's just so simple and so freeing. I've said freeing, but I'm going to say freeing again because it is just so. I feel free. I feel happy. I feel content. I'm not earning much money at the minute. I'm still happy. You know, I'm still joyful. I'm still just enjoying life. No, because I know that suffering's coming from me, nowhere else, no one else. And that's empowering. I feel like I've got a superpower. Like, nothing really phases me anymore, apart from computers. I do backslide in that. Like, technology bugs the hell out of me. So I do have to remind myself. But you know what? The more you kind of question your thinking, the quicker it gets as well. Like,
Yeah.
the quicker you're like, oh, I'm thinking again. I'm thinking again.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's learning to
before,
have that awareness.
yeah, the awareness just comes so much quicker. And now you're like, oh, I'm in that thinking again. And then as soon as you kind of like notice your thinking, it kind of goes away. Sometimes it lingers, a bit like a snow globe. You know, if you shake a snow globe, you put it down, sometimes it takes a while for the snow to come down.
Right.
What happens there, though, is humans, we feel our thinking, we shake it, and then because the snow's not dropped straight away, we pick it up again. If we just put it down and leave it alone, stop playing with it, it will just go down and we'll see straight through it. We'll have such clarity, such clear views because there's no snow floating around in it because we've left it alone. We've let it do its thing. We've let it flow through us. We haven't tried to control it or change it or work it out or try to figure out why it's there. We've just let it put it down. So yeah, I think that's a good one to end on. Jessica, does anyone else have anything else to say or any thoughts?
No, it was a pleasure speaking with you ladies today.
Yeah.
Pleasure having you on here today.
Yeah,
Very fun.
I've enjoyed it. I like when you talk, Melissa.
I go off on one, don't I? I'm not like, I get like really passionate and then I'm just like, boom. Yeah.
Oh.
The editing will be easy.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, maybe we'll see you ladies again in the future.
Absolutely. That would be
Yes.
amazing. I'd love that.
Very fun. Very fun.
It's an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed this session.
On to the next.
Yeah. Love.
Ah,
For her.
All
very
right.
good.
All right. And that's the end of our show. And thank you for watching. And if you liked our podcast, then please subscribe, like, and share with other people that might enjoy this conversation.
Yes.
So yeah,
Bye.
peace out.